Okay, first of all, I would like to thank Suma Sarm, the Ministry of Government Relations, and the other partners, not only for this award, but for the opportunity to speak with you today. So for those of you who don't know, Riverhurst is a tiny community, about 140 permanent residents with more people coming and staying for the summer. We're just a couple of kilometers away from Diefenbaker Lake at the Riverhurst Ferry. So our project involves a wetland restoration. It's an environmental project. Right at the entrance to the village, there once was a beautiful wetland which had sort of devolved through for a number of reasons, not only because of drought, but because of the way it had been managed. It had devolved into an unattractive sort of weedy cow pasture. So we have a very active Communities in Bloom committee here in the village, and we decided that we wanted to restore that wetland. So why wetlands? Well, because they are such a critical, important ecosystem. They filter and recharge water, they store carbon, they are habitat, they provide habitat for millions of migratory and wetland birds. But unfortunately on the prairies, as I think anybody who's in the south and west of the province at least knows, those wetlands are disappearing at an alarming rate. Familiar species, so ducks, geese, shorebirds, and more, are having a harder time finding habitat to nest, and other wetland plant and animal species are also struggling. The future impact of this loss of habitat is actually pretty hard to overestimate. So in 2020, we applied for some federal funding through Environment and Climate Change Canada, and were successful in attracting $104,000 to restore the wetland. You can see in this picture that tiny little puddle of water in the background, whereas that whole area was the previous wetland. So it was definitely a struggling ecosystem. So our work began during the early spring and summer of 2021. And we spent most of that year conducting the studies so that we were really sure about what was possible and what our steps were. So we did a hydrology study, engineering study, and a biology study. We were ready for our construction phase to begin. So after the first year, year two was the year of action for us. You can see some of the results here. We installed wheelchair accessible walking paths, and you can see some of the educational signage along those walking paths. We planted, oh boy, I'm not sure of the exact final number, but it's more than 800 trees throughout the wetland. In the first year alone, a visiting biologist counted more than 20 species of nesting birds. So we felt, we really were on the right track to restoring this wetland. Here you can see in the upper right-hand corner, that's Environment Minister Dana Skorapad and Ducks Unlimited Specialist Suzanne Joyce in the blue shirt at our grand opening. And we were also really pleased to see SARM President Don Rode attend our grand opening too. So that was in July. What were the strengths of our project for the application? When we were working on the application, we wanted to be sure that we told the full story of the project, not just what it was, but what it meant to our community. So we found that the awards website was really, really helpful. It makes those criteria really, really clear. We learned afterwards the things that the adjudicators noted about our application. They included that it was collaborative. So from the original idea through to the final launch, we were constantly in touch with local and provincial experts, organizations, businesses, and for wetland knowledge. So a piece of advice that we could offer is don't be afraid to ask for help. We were so grateful and humbled for the level of help and involvement we got from other organizations and people. When we asked, we found that people were genuinely, they wanted to advise and assist. Everyone from the U of S to Ducks Unlimited to biologists to local builders and excavators. So that part was really great. Another strength was that our project, we think, was quite strategic. So our little village, like many other Saskatchewan communities, is trying hard to reinvent itself. So we have suffered the usual prairie town losses, the school, the railway, businesses. So we wanted to create a venue that could help attract people to our village and at the same time give residents a source of pride. So that was sort of the foundation of our plan. And it's also important that no tax dollars were used for the project. It was all new money brought into the village from a non-tax source. Our project was local, conceived, planned, and delivered by Riverhurst Communities in Bloom volunteers. And although it was federally funded, all aspects of program delivery were done locally. Communication was critical. We were mindful right from the outset of the need to reach out to our community. As such, we planned and delivered a steady stream of information pieces. So newsletters, social media posts, news stories in print, radio, and online media, posters, and we also did pre and post project polling too, to make sure that we heard from residents. Funder and supporter aligned. We feel this is a really important factor too. Our funding was from a source from Environment and Climate Change Canada called the Environmental Damages Fund. And it is a pool of funds that is gathered from polluters and is then redirected to restoration projects. So we thought that that was a really good fit with what we were doing. And also, we learned that winning the Saskatchewan Municipal Award was seen very positively by our major funder, who subsequently shared it as a good example of stewardship across several federal program areas. So that was really rewarding. And what did the award mean for our project? Number one, education. So one strong objective of our project was to help people learn about wetlands, how important they are, and why we need to restore or preserve them. Wetlands contribute to flood and drought mitigation, which is important for sure, carbon capture, biodiversity, water filtration, and the award helped us tell this story to a much broader audience. Profile media outreach done by SAMA and SARM really expanded the reach of our story. In addition, this award elevated our profile, so we were successful in attracting high-profile visitors, spokespeople, policymakers for the launch and for tours, which in turn helps create the case, helps us build the case for more wetlands. Credibility. So I guess the old saying is nothing succeeds like success. So even though we were confident that we were on the right track and that the impact of this award or the impact of our project would be a positive thing, the credibility that was conferred when we did win this award brought more people on side in our community and surrounding area. And it also helped us with volunteers. After winning the award, we actually found that people were more willing to step forward and lend a hand. So that was really, really great. And why should you apply? So if you're considering putting in an application for this award program, number one, we found that apart from the fact that the recognition is very personally satisfying, both our community and our project benefited from the award. It's a highly esteemed award, confers a lot of value and credibility. The website is clear, will help you identify if you're eligible, how, when to apply. So really, the application process was easy. It was not onerous. The form was well designed. And when we had questions, Stephanie and the staff were very, very quick to respond to our questions, very helpful. The awards program is uniquely Saskatchewan. So looking at the many projects awarded this year and in past years, and you can certainly find all of those on the website too, to look at what has won the award in the past. It's striking how a spirit of innovation, volunteerism, collaboration, and can-do just really shines through. People here see a need and they roll up their sleeves. So Don't hold back because your project may seem too small, not corporate enough, not $1 million. I'd encourage you to consider applying. And the video, wow, finalists are offered this wonderful opportunity to have a video about our project and our community. So you talk about your project, how much it will benefit your community. It just has been a really great tool for us in use in presentations, in social media, and it's just so professionally done. It's a wonderful, wonderful asset to have. So there we go, Riverhurst Wetland, visit us soon. Thank you.